Hello, everyone. I see that more and more people are joining, and all these people are either AI savvy or wanna be AI savvy, as you have joined the right time and the right place to be the participants of a secure AI workshop. It will be delivered but by one of the top AI engineers of EPAM, AI native company who pays a lot attention to AI adoption in all the processes. So if you're interested, stay tuned. After the participation in the workshop, you'll be provided with the certificate. So remember to stay with us, as at the end of the workshop, we'll be requesting your names to provide you with the right certificate, which you can be posting on your LinkedIn or whenever you consider it to be necessary. I see that we have 18 people on the call, which means that we can start. Vitaly Shulga, AI engineer of EPAM, will be doing the workshop for you today. I'll be your host, Natalia Stashko, and we have a special guest, Rinat, who is the head of EPAM Uzbekistan. And during our talk today, you'll listen a little bit about our company. And this is just because you need to understand the scale of our projects, the scope of EPAM in Uzbekistan, and then a huge amount of time would be devoted in particular to Secure AI workshop. We'll be finishing with collecting the information from those who want to receive the certificate of completion of this workshop. And as Vitaly is one of our guest professors in IT Park University, the most progressive university of Uzbekistan, you will be able to see which programs you can join if you want to keep studying with such professors as Vitaly and many more who are EPAM engineers, solution architects, and practitioners. During the whole webinar, you can be asking questions in Q&A section. You have it in Zoom. Feel free to write the questions there, and at the end of the workshop, all the questions will be answered by Vitaly. And we move forward with our first speaker for you to understand the scale of the company we are representing today with AI expertise, and I'm inviting Rinat on stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for so kind introduction. So please move to the next slide. So let me introduce EPAM, a global engineering service company founded more than 30 years ago in 1993 in the United States by two classmates and friends, Arkady Dobkin and Leonid Lozner. Arkady continues to serve as the company's president to this day. And when it started 30 years ago, EPAM had only 5 employees. But today, the company have over 61,000 professionals, and nearly 56,000 are engineers, developers, analysts, designers, testers, and consultants. All these people who help our clients from IT perspective. And we have offices in more than 55 countries around the world. And we operate across diverse business industries, including software and high-tech, finance and banking, life science and healthcare, telecom, media and entertainment, and many, many others. And what we are most proud of and what we value the most are our clients. So among our top 100 clients, 68 are the companies included to the Fortune 500 or Forbes global ranking, which speaks about the level of trust of major businesses placed in us. And this map showcases our global locations. And what we can confidently say is that we are brilliantly diversified geographically across the whole time zones. And for some of our clients, we leverage the follow the sun principle to provide uninterrupted service. Using this approach, tasks are passed between teams or specialists located in different time zones as the day progresses across the globe. And this ensures seamless work and support as if everything we operating 24 and 7 from a single location. Additionally, we are proud of our strategic partnership with leading global technology companies. EPAM has built over 150 partnerships with the world's most innovative software and technology companies to deliver next generation solution and tackle today's largest technological challenges. And together we collaborate to develop and deliver excellence to our clients. And by the way, many of these technological partners are not just collaborators, but also our clients. We support them in developing and maintaining the globally recognized products. And a couple of words about EPAM Uzbekistan. Next slide, please. We started the office in Uzbekistan 6 years ago, and from the very beginning, I'm head of EPAM Uzbekistan office, and at the moment we have more than 600 employees on the board, more than 70 active customers, and we're really proud to highlight our key clients. I believe you may heard about Thomson Reuters or SAP Technological Company or Abu Dhabi Oil and Gas Company. And we have two offices in Tashkent, but it doesn't mean that we have no employees from other regions of our big republic. So we definitely we have employees from Bukhara, Samarkand, Kokand, Urgench, and so on, but they work remotely. A bit information about our talent skill set distribution. The most of our engineers are presented in Java, Python, .NET. The other big part of our most popular skill set in EPAM Uzbekistan is JavaScript and mobile development. It also correlate with the market situation. So we are in a bit dependency on the market capabilities and capacity. So if we have much engineers in JavaScript in the market, it could mean that at EPAM Uzbekistan, these practices also have a big part of the whole range disciplines. And about our seniority breakdown, so you can see the diagram that shows the distribution across our seniority. So A1, it means junior engineers, A2 middle, A3 36%, A4 and 5 at a team leader or architecture level, and B track it's a managerial track. So you can observe that most of our employees are engineering specialists, programmers, software developers, testers, so on and so on. And only a small part of them are managers. What makes sense to highlight, we are in the close cooperation with the local government, with IC Park especially. So every time our President Arkady Dobkin visit Uzbekistan, every time we find a time to meet with our strategic partner as IT Park. And a few years ago, with the cooperation with IT Park, we decided to launch the IT Park University. So the next picture is shows a meeting in our Washington, not the office, but in the embassy of Uzbekistan in the Washington. Is here's a meeting with Minister Shermatov. Next slide, please. Okay, I believe my colleagues will share a bit deeper information about IT Park University, but what I would like to highlight that this year, 2025, we have our first graduates from the IT Park. There are 73 graduates that finished the university this year, and as we know, many of them are already employed, and close to 15 are employed to EPAM. Some of them accepted to our internal labs, and some of them already assigned to the position and work with our clients. Thank you. That's briefly it. I switch over to the next speaker. Thank you for your attention. I hope I will see you in the list of students in IT Park.
Thank you so much, Rinat. I know how busy you are being the head of location, but still knowing the priorities, coming to people and telling everybody about EPAM and its expertise. Thank you so much. And more for you guys to be touching EPAM expertise, which we preach in our company, which we share with you when you come and study with us. I'm inviting Vitaly to the stage, who is our AI engineer, one of the top. And this is the person who really inspires, because Vitaly is both the practitioner and guest professor of IT Park University. Vitaly teaches a master's degree and the courses connected to AI engineering there. I'm sure that you will be stunned and amazed by the magic you will see from Vitaly right now. While Vitaly will be presenting, please be submitting your questions either to Q&A or to the chat, because at the end of the workshop, we'll be giving the floor to Vitaly to answer all your questions, and as well as collecting the information from you, which would confirm that you have participated in the workshop, which is about AI. Vitaly, you know more about AI than I do, so the ground is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia. Appreciate it. Thank you, folks, for coming. I hope that would be interesting and useful for you. So let's probably get started. I really appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate the feedback in real time. So I will try to follow the questions. So I can't promise I will be, doing coding and reading the chat at the same time all the time. But if you have some ideas, I don't know, questions or probably suggestions, feel free to type in chat. Like time to time, I will be switching between the monitors, and I will probably answer your question even before the Q&A session, right? So really appreciate your feedback. This would be the live demo, so I don't know if it will run or not. Let's see. So let me first share the screen and let's get started. All right. Okay. I'll just try to rearrange the windows. Okay. So let's get started. This is some micro presentation inside the presentation, but yeah, so I have a bit of experience working with IT. In the last 3 years, I'm focusing on AI adoption. So I help our clients to bring AI and actually use AI to solve real business problems. So right now, like I still keep that line. I'm not affiliated with any software as a service or any vendor. I will not be selling you like Azure or GCP. So the things I will be showing you today, they are completely free. So you don't need any subscriptions, any money to do the things I do. So what we're going to discuss today. So actually, we're going to build some simple solutions. So I know that it's not going to be enterprise. It's not going to be, I don't know, like scalable, secure. Well, it will be secure, but we're not building an enterprise level software right now. So we are trying to understand a couple of ideas, like a couple of the concepts. So first thing, I had the business task from my imaginary client. So first we need to understand the task, the requirements, then we're going to select the right tools to do that. And at the end, well, it's like we're going to be drafting some software. So here are the requirements. We have the customer feedbacks. So, like if you work with the clients, you usually receive something as a feedback. In some cases, the feedback may be kind of generic. For example, you ordered the pizza, you met the delivery man, and you just left the, I don't know, like 5 stars or 3 stars. You can just provide a simple comment. But in some cases, the feedback may be kind of huge and contain more data. So, for example, as far as I know, a lot of public companies are required to collect the feedbacks, at least like quarterly, from the clients. And some projects can be multi-million projects. So people write a lot of stuff there, and they can put a lot of information inside. So if you have 5 clients, it's not a big deal. You can just read them all, and you can, like learn the lessons. But in case you have several thousands of customers, I mean, like B2B customers, right? Or like B2C, but if you value them a lot, that may be a challenge to read them all, right? Especially if you collect that feedback frequently. So let me show you how we can use AI to do that. And we're not substituting human, we're just doing some kind of augmentation, because eventually we don't have any guarantee that a large language model will do the job 100%, right? So we're not here to replace the humans, we're here just to augment their job. So what requirements we do have for that task? So first, the solution should obviously parse the customer review. And by parsing, I mean extracting some information out of it and extracting that information in the way so we can reuse it future. I don't know, put it in the database, or probably do some kind of augmentation, modification, or somehow process programmatically, right? So the next requirement is we should hide PII. So what is a PII? It's like personally identifiable information, something like that. So it's like username, user email, phone number, street address. I mean, like if the real person is living there. So everything which can lead to a particular person, right? So usually it's like name, email, stuff like that. So we should hide that because it doesn't bring much sense for further processing, right? So is it like the person who left the feedback called Mike or Vitaly? It doesn't matter. So we should extract the client company name, so to understand who was there, like what was the client name. And we should also extract the project name as well, because one client may have several projects, so several feedbacks or in one feedback. Next, obviously, we need to set some kind of like overall satisfaction rating, like from 0 to 5 or from 0 to 10, you decide. And here is the thing, like we're not relying fully on the LLM, because like we've been there long working with LLMs, so you cannot rely 100% on that. So that's why we would mark some feedbacks with not enough data so the human can find them and process manually like we did before AI, right? And here is the thing, like the most critical, I mean, from the technical perspective. So we are not allowed to share this data with any external vendors. So this is our data, so the client trusts us, but client is not okay, or like our company is not okay to put the data in ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, whatever you mentioned, right? So the data should stay in the company, and that's the most like one of the complicated parts here, right? So let's do that by one, right? So we have some kind of understanding what should be done, so we need to select the right tools for that. So what tools we're going to use today? So today I will be using Python scripting, and I will use one of the solutions for local inference. So inference is when you type something in LLM and it starts producing tokens, so this process is called inference. So when you use ChatGPT, it's done somewhere on OpenAI servers, right? The same with Grok, the same with Claude. You actually put the request to someone else's machine in the cloud and it's doing the job. But here we can't do that because we are not allowed to share the data with external LLMs or any external provider. So we need to host the model locally, right? And by locally, I'm meaning somewhere not exposing the existing API, right? So I can't use ChatGPT, I can't use any other providers. So I will show you two options how to do that. So let me start from the second one and then get back to the first, and we will continue with the first. So first is deploy the large language model locally. So the second one, if you do not have enough capacity in your hardware, you're going to need some machine, some kind of like a server to run it, right? So regarding the hardware, so different models, they have different parameters. So let me just show that to you. So we need to understand what model we're going to use, right? And for that sake, a lot of people who work with AI, they usually use Hugging Face. So Hugging Face been there even before ChatGPT. This was like one of the best place to explore and load machine learning models. But right now, as you can see, for example, in training models, we can see the GPT OSS, which was released 2 days ago, probably like yesterday or the day before yesterday. And today, I think today they're gonna show GPT-5. As far as I remember, it should be somewhere at night in United States. But anyway, we need to download the model, right? So we can go to the model, and our task is basically generate text. But you see, here is the filter. Let me just zoom it in. So here is the filter parameters. So the parameters, usually like very simple answer and kind of rule of thumb, the more parameters you have, the better results you can get from the model, right? So for example, 200 billion parameters. So B stands for billion, like 1,000 millions. So the more parameters you have, the more cognitive capabilities the model has. So in our cases, what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna use my local hardware, and I will be using my GPU. So I have NVIDIA GPU, and there is a framework which is called CUDA, created by NVIDIA. You can load some data inside the VRAM, which is like video random access memory, and the model will be sitting there inside. And you can do some tensor manipulations with that. So as far as I have only 16 gigabytes of VRAM, so I can feed something like the models less than 8 billion parameters. Well, just because of the math, if we have precision of 16, so we can feed something like half of your VRAM, right? But anyway, how to find the right model? So basically, you need to follow the AI news, like follow some kind of benchmark, and probably read like about what's going on. So we can try to use the latest GPT OSS. Actually, I have this downloaded, but in our case, let us just filter and find something which will fit the model. Yeah, so pretty everything you see on the screen can fit our model. So here you can see the provider. So usually the before slash, this is the provider, and after the slash, this is the model name. And they have some kind of like common abbreviations. For example, 30B means like 30 billion parameters. I don't know why it's here in the filter. Maybe I'm filtering on FP16, but anyway, instruct, that means like the model is doing instruction following. So this one is embedding model. It's not for completions. It's just for REG and vector storages. So I already did the selection for you here. So I have one of my favorite models is 5.4. So 5.4 is the model from Microsoft. It's not the first generation. The first was like probably 5.3. I really like that model. So it's kind of small, but it's really good at simple tasks. It has pretty good context window lengths, and I think it was released in late 2024. So I will be loading that locally, right, in just in my GPU. So what if you do not have the hardware? Because GPUs cost money, and basically gaming GPU right now is not the thing you can just go and buy anytime, right? So there are some cloud providers where you can rent the server to do the inference. But usually if you talk about big three like GCP, AWS, and Azure, they will be kind of like expensive, right? But there are special cloud providers which allows you to, let's say, rent the GPU, not from the real person, I mean from someone like me, but from the organization which is specializing in like keeping the GPU rack and providing that for the rent. So there are different providers. I'm not forcing you to use that one. It's just the only one I've been using for, I don't know, like last 2 years probably. And I've been doing a lot of different stuff there. So what you can do here, so if you do not have your own hardware, right, you can create a pod. So first you need to make some kind of prepayment. So minimal is like $10 or something like that. So we can just create the pod. So the pod is something like a virtual machine, but only with GPU. So in here, you can explore different GPUs available. So starting from the cheapest one and really old GPUs, I don't know, L40 is kind of old, or like RTX 2000. But you see, they are kind of very cheap. It has 16 gigs of VRAM and it's like quarter of the dollar per hour. So you can just, for $1, you can allocate this GPU for 4 hours and do your job. But some models, especially when we're gonna work with video generation or like batch images generation, they're gonna require like enormous amount of VRAM. So for that sake, you can go with something heavy like H100 or H200, but the price may be like kind of high, right? So once you select the model, that's my usual choice, A40. So you need to install there something like in Docker, right? So you can use a pre-selected template. So I usually go with either PyTorch, which is like pretty raw for anything, or if you know for sure, for example, you're going to be using ComfyUI, you can just select the template with ComfyUI. So once it's deployed, it will automatically start installing the software you need, and you are kind of safe here. So in terms of the text generation, so right now we don't need to generate videos, we don't need to do the images. In terms of generating the text, we can go with like this tool, which is called Tubabuga, text generation web UI, or we can go with Olama. It's pretty the same. So they have, I don't know, hundreds of different templates, or you can install your own software here. For example, if you want to play with video, here is the ready-made template to do that. So once you do that, you can just deploy the pod, select the price. So this is on demand. You just pay for minutes. And like you can get there either by SSH, or you can run Jupyter Notebook, like anything. Once you deploy on demand, in several minutes, it will start, and you would be allowed, like to do inference by API. So you're gonna have your personal API endpoint just for exact your scenario. So I see the questions in chat. So which are the best open source LLMs currently available for commercial use without restrictions? So most of them available for commercial use without restrictions. So you need to read. This is called the model card, right? Some kind of like a README. So you need to check the license. So here is MIT, as far as you know, MTs, you can use it for anything. In some cases, for example, if we go with Llama models, so they have kind of interesting license. You see, they have their own license, actually. They created that from the scratch. So you can use it for free for commercial unless you have some kind of, unless you do not have some measured number of users growing or kind of revenue growth. So it's kind of tricky. So it's better to talk with the, I don't know, like either legal person or ChatGPT, just ask to share what is better. But there are plenty of models you can use for commercial use. I think from the latest releases, these OSS 20B is kind of interesting. I tried to use that. I had some challenges, but I'm not sure it is like my skill issue, or like I'm doing something wrong, or is the problem with the model. And yeah, someone is mentioning in the chat that the Quen is the best option. So Quen, I don't remember, is it like from Alibaba, or who is the author of the Quen? So it's a Chinese model, and it's very powerful. I mean, like I've seen a lot of positive feedbacks from people who use Quen. Yeah, someone says like it's Alibaba Cloud. So the guys from China, they just doing very great job. And I think if we open, I don't know, 10 random benchmarks, we will see that most of the, I'm not talking about the proprietary models like latest Gemini, latest GPT, they are closed. If we talk about the local models you can download and you can use, I think Chinese models are the best in the world right now. So that's my personal experience, right? But the models appear every day, like every week. So you can see that we have, I don't know, like 2 million models. Really? It's, if we filter by text generation, I don't know if it's filtering or not. Let's check. Okay. So basically you can run anything of this using the run pot, and you see 200,000 of models, because you can create the model, you can just take the existing model and you can fine tune it and stuff like that. Okay, so two options here, right? So the first one is you can go with something like a run pod. You can Google, I don't know how it's better to mention that, like GPU rental. Okay. Yeah, Vast AI, you see this link. I've been clicking that previously. So they have different providers. I just had experience with Runpod and I'm pretty satisfied, but you may find the better prices somewhere else. I don't know. So in our case, what we're gonna use, several options here. So let me start from the applications I won't be used today. So this one is Olama. The desktop application was released, I don't know, a week ago, something like that. So this is super fresh, but it has kind of like limited selection of the models, only Gamma and quantized DeepSeek, like I see Quen, but it's not enough for me, right? So we are not going to use Olama, but you can if you like that. It was previously CLI application, but what I prefer actually, so and what I recommend for everyone is LM Studio. This is really good for open source, and the models, you can download a lot of models here. And what I like in LM Studio is you can deploy your own server. Well, it has UI, and that's nice, because if you do some kind of configuration, for example, you would like to tune the temperature, or I don't know, like sampling parameters, or like context window, some predefined prompts or stuff like that. So you can do it very easy here. So in developer mode, you can run the server. You can just explore the models you have, right? So this is the models I've downloaded locally, so I can just run them anytime. And yeah, you can discover additional models. So they arrive pretty fast, actually. So GPT OSS was available the same day it was announced by OpenAI, like in several hours. I just downloaded it, started working. And it also shows you, is this model enough for your hardware? So from my perspective, so what we're going to use, so the CPU and memory doesn't matter. Still, it's a good recommendation to have enough regular RAM to load the model in, the same as the VRAM. But right now I have 64 gigs, so that's fine. So we're going to use that, and we're going to use 4080, and in 4080 we have 16 gigabytes of GPU memory, right? So let me just load the model. Let me select the model, and let me start with 5.4. It's not the latest one, but well, we can, if we will have some time, we can try with GPT OSS. So when you load the model, you can tweak it, right? So you can change the context window, you can increase it so it supports 16K, but for our case, 4K is enough. We can just do additional tweaks to save the memory, but this model will fit the memory just fine. So let me just load it, and let's see this chart. Like right now I have only 3 gigabytes occupied. Let me load the model and see what will happen. Yeah, you see the spike. So right now we have 13 gigs occupied, and we still need to have some memory for input tokens and for the output for the vectors and stuff like that. So let's check if it works, right? Let me just create, I don't know how, I just updated the version, and I think maybe here, that's new folder, new chat. Okay. We made a joke. One problem with LM Studio is I cannot increase the font size in some cases. So I just appreciate, because like I hope you may have some experience, some troubles seeing the logs in the command line. So I've been trying to increase that, but I failed actually. Anyway, it works, and you see the speed of execution is 46 tokens per second. Is very good, and the latency is kind of nice. So what we're gonna do next? So the model works, and it works locally. We need to go to the developer settings. Let me clear the logs, and let me run the server. So in settings, we can just override the port, and everything else I just keep by default, right? So let me run the local server. So it means everything I will be using in code is going to be used by, it will be transferred to my local server, local LLM. So it's not going outside. If I just disconnect internet right now, I will be still be able to work, but you won't see me, right? Let me create a new project. Let me call it, I don't know, local TPU demo. So if you're not familiar with Python, it's kind of easy. There are some things you need to know before the start. So I'm going to use the virtual environment in order to have some kind of isolation for my libraries. But actually right now, any developer can use any language. So if you work with JavaScript, or if you work with C# or Java, you can just, like use LLMs like GPT, or you can use the cursor just to help you to write the same in Python. But I'm pretty sure you can do the same thing I'm doing right now. You can easily replicate it in any language, in TypeScript, in Java, in C#. It's like almost every language right now. It allows you to use the libraries to connect to the OpenAI. So it's kind of popular right now. But back in the days, it was only Python supported, I think, as the first language. All right. So what we need to do first is, okay, let me do that. Yes. Let me create some script. Why should provide the extension by default? Okay. All right, so let me first try to check if it works or not programmatically. So for that case, we need to go to the package manager, which is pip, and let me install pip install OpenAI. So what we're doing right now, pip OpenAI. So we're installing the library. It should be somewhere on the GitHub, but I don't see it in the top results. Anyway, so this is official library Python SDK to work with OpenAI. The trick is, you may question like, why are you installing the OpenAI? Because we are not using OpenAI. The trick is, the OpenAI created that communication protocol first, and they created the libraries first. So basically, you can use OpenAI connection, I mean OpenAI SDK, to connect to almost any model in the world, even non-OpenAI. So they just created the industry standard, and it works. So let me import that, and let me check. So for the sake of the like speed, I will be doing some copy pasting sometimes. So here is the, just open that. Okay, come on. Okay, so what we're interested is just the host and the port, and here is how to call the model, right? So we can run it with curl and check if the server is running. But in my case, so what we need to define is, we just need to define the client, and we need to do something like, we need to call the completions API. So here is how it works. We call the client chat completions create. We provide the model name here, and the model name I'm taking from that. So LLM is 5.4, and the same name I have here. Temperature, max tokens, it's up to you. You can just reuse it anytime. And here is like the list of messages we're going to provide. So the system message is actually invisible message, which has kind of like big priority for the LLM. So it's ordinary, like the system message should be more important than the user message. And once the token window is getting, like when you talk a lot, the LLM can just lose some of the back conversations, but the system message should stay there. It has some kind of like the exception here. So let's just check if it works or not. Here is the question, why the sky is blue. So let me run that and see if it will work or not. Yeah, well, I forgot to print the result. Okay. And actually, this line is just GitHub Copilot suggesting me to do. I have the GitHub Copilot here available. I'm pretty sure like most of you guys work with something like that, like either Cursor. I don't use Cursor. I don't do vibe coding like in its vibe coding way, but I use GitHub Copilot just to do some kind of like auto completions. All right, so I think that should be fine. Let's run it once again. And if we can see the server logs, you see that there was a request. Okay, why the sky is blue, running chat completions, like sampling parameters, frequency balancing, like a lot of technical data here. But what we are interested is in that. So we are interested in generated predictions. So let me just, okay, let me jump to the latest one. So here is the response from the LLM. And this is like what OpenAI sees when you ask OpenAI to do something, right? So this is like the server side. So what we can see here, ID, object, Unix date creation model. Choices is the array, but usually it's only one item here. And this is like the message content. So this is technically the answer. All the rest is technical information, like how many tokens were prompt in the completion, total tokens, and fingerprint. So this is what you are going to be billed for, right? If you use paid API. But we are not getting billed because for our scenario, what we just use is the local LM. It's hosted on the local host. Let's check with Python. Yes, so we can see that in the Python as well. All right, so it works, right? So let's get back to the task. So we need to update the solution to be able to parse the customer review. So let me just drop some things here. So we will just recreate that in future. So what I will do here is let me just create the list of reviews, and then I will be doing some kind of like the model to understand what's going on here, right? Okay, let me uncomment that lines. So here are the reviews we will need to process. So here is one sample review. Just hide that. Okay. So here at Meta, we value how your company works. So here is the project name. Here is the personal data, like the name, another name, one more name. So we know the company name, we have the project, so we have everything just to test our solution, right? So we need to extract the client company, extract project name, like and other stuff. So here is one more review I just prepared. So Project Apollo. This is the negative review, right? Not sure, like Harry Potter is the right person to lead the project and banned from NASA. So I think LLM would be able to parse that. I don't know. Here is one more negative review. One more and one more. So in order to test that, let me just keep 3 of them. You know, it would be fast. And I keep that review just to test the edge cases. It doesn't have the project, it doesn't have anything, but I will need to understand how the LLM will react on that. So what we're gonna do next, we need to create, and this is the very core part of that workshop, right? So we need to somehow, what I want to get, I don't want to get the text response. I want to get the object. I want LLM, instead of giving me text as the output, which I will need to parse with some like string parsers, I want the LLM to reply with objects. And for that sake, we can use one thing which is called structured output. So if we go to the OpenAI documentation, so let me output structure using structured outputs. Okay, I think that's, what's that? No. Let me Google that. OpenAI structured output. Okay, here is the documentation. So what is the structured output? In some cases, you don't want LLM to reply with text, because the text you need just as an intermediate result to create the object out of that, right? For example, if you work with software and you create, I don't know, like some things to be used programmatically, you don't need string, right? Because string is kind of like not very convenient. So usually they have 2 options. So one is called JSON mode, and another one is called the structured output. So the JSON mode was there like 1.5 years, probably 2 years ago. The structured output is some kind of evolution of the JSON mode. So talking short, you don't need to use the JSON mode right now, because the structured output is just beta. So you see the JSON mode was even in 3.5 Turbo, but structured output supports only the latest models. So somewhere here should be the chart of the performance. If they still have it in the documentation. No. Maybe they had it. Well, doesn't matter. So here is how it works. Instead of chat completions create, so here we have, it's not there, but actually we've been using like chat completions create. We're gonna use, we're not gonna use responses API, we're gonna use old API. We're gonna use chat completions parse. So the chat completions parse means that we will be, responses will go to the object and be automatically casted and parsed to the object. So here is the object, calendar event. It has the name, the date, which are strings, and the participants, which is list of strings. So instead of just taking the text out of the LLM, we will be getting the object. So how it works? Let me show you the example. So first, what we need to do is we need to create the class, and we need to emulate the real output of that program. So for that sake, I've created the mock class. So let me show that to you. Okay. Meanwhile, let me install one more library we're gonna need. It's called Pydantic.
Vitaly,
Yeah.
we don't see the screen. It's fine.
No, it's not.
Shall we
Uh,
probably then?
yeah, I don't know, like
Oh
somehow
yeah, we
the
can see it now. Yeah, it's fine.
oh
Maybe that was a breakout in the connection on my side. No worries. Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, if you will see some challenges, just let me know. I don't know, maybe its internet is not the best today. So what I just did is I installed the Pydantic. So what is the Pydantic? It's one of the library to do the validations. It's kind of old. It was there before AI. And if you're working with TypeScript, like JavaScript, you can use Zod. At least it's like recommended by OpenAI. Well, it does the same thing, but in another language, right? So we just installed the Pydantic. We're gonna need to import some stuff. Just import the libraries. And after that, I will explain how it works. So what's that? Once I will tag the review, so what I will be doing with that review, I want to create the instance of the object of the class tagged review. So this class is inherited from the base model, and the base model is somewhere inside the Pydantic library. So for that case, what I'm doing is I'm constructing the desired output and explaining that to LLM what should be there. So here is the thing. This is the class. This is the first field. It's ID. ID is integer. And this is super important for LLM to provide the text description to the fields. Like always do that. You will never regret. Because in that case, you just explain LLM what should be there, right? And it will better understand that. So what I need from the review, so how I want them tagged. So first I need the ID, obviously. I don't care what LLM put there. I will be just using that in future. I want the review with obfuscated PII. And I explained it here. So that should be string. And this is the review with obfuscated personal identifiable informations, and give it the examples. The same I do with client company name. The same I do with project name, a string. And here is the overall satisfaction. I want to receive it as an integer. So further, I can just compare to reviews like just by the class field, right? And I keep one more, let's say, field to mark the review. LLM thing correct. And the reason I do that is because some case my income data, my input data can be not very good, but I still need to somehow identify which things I will need to invite humans to review. And here is I'm explaining that to the model itself, right? All right, so we have the class, we have the describe fields. You can put anything. You can create a class of classes. You can create the fields, which are another instances, like another classes, and so on. So you can build really complex structure with Pydantic. But for our case, it doesn't matter right now. So what I want to do additionally, so when we will be calling the LLM, I want to provide the custom prompt. So I always do that when I create AI prototypes. So here is this is just a string, right? So I'm explaining the model what should be done, right? And this is super important because this will go as the very first message. So your goal is to analyze the review. In review obfuscated, so I'm referencing to the field, you must set the review with obfuscated PII by replacing it with generic terms like client, vendor, project manager, and so on. I think I can break the line here. Okay, So next, I'm asking LLM to extract client company name and project name from the review if they're present. I can say like put it in the fields, but I think LLM will be able to understand what should be done. And if you don't have the data, set insufficient data to true. That's, you know, like prompt and like let's not focus on that too much. You can change it in future. You can try different ones, but so it's time to call the inference endpoint, right? So now it's time to run that. And for that, I will create the method. Here is the analyze feedback method. So what will go inside that method? So first thing, I'm going to receive the review itself from the list of the reviews here. And the second thing, I will be using this custom prompt, right? So, and here is very important part of that solution. So the first important part is Pydantic wrapper, and the second important part is this one, how we call that. So we are not calling chat completions create as we do with OpenAI or any other models. We do not want to create the completion. Instead, I will be using chat completions parse from the beta. So there is one reason I'm using the old library. So if we get back to the structured outputs, so by default, it's using responses API. Responses API is something like 6 months ago. And in responses API, it's client responses parse. But in completions API, the old version, it's client chat completions parse. In old libraries, it's client beta chat completions parse. The reason I'm using old library and the old syntax is just backwards compatibility. Some models, some tools just don't use the responses API, and I want to make it, you know, like compatible with another software. So getting back to the code, I set the model and I put, I combine the context window. So in context window, I provide the system prompt referencing to my custom prompt, and I provide the content as a review. And here is my response format. It's review tagged. So what I want to receive out of that method is tagged review. I don't want to receive the text. I want the object. So what we're going to do next? Tagged, let's say, like take reviews. I'm just creating some kind of storage for that, right? Okay, here is the Copilot is suggesting me to do something. Okay, let's just read that. So we're gonna analyze feedback, passing the review from the reviews, custom prompt, and in that array, we're gonna append the tagged review. So I think it looks nice. The only thing we need to do here is print it, right? So we need to print the tagged reviews. Come on, let me suggest me something. Tagged reviews multiple. Okay. All right. Let's just run it and see what will happen. I don't know. Like we did a lot of changes here, but I think it should work. Let's check the server if it's running. Yeah, you see the server is doing something. So we see the logs, and that's very important. I will show you what's inside there because it's kind of critical. Yeah. So we got the result, right? So we have the review tagged, and this is not the text. This is the object. We just cast to string. So here is the ID. Here is the obfuscated data. Okay, I think the obfuscation just wasn't done good by AI, but that model. But anyway, so what we did, what went well in that run, the client company name is extracted successfully. The project name is extracted successfully as well. Overall satisfaction looks good, right? Client is happy. Insufficient data is false. Second review. Second review is about the project Apollo and it's kind of negative. Okay, project Apollo. But you see, here is, we see the obfuscation. Project manager is the right person to lead. But here, in the original text is Harry Potter. So the model actually did the job, right? In first, it failed. In second, it did the job. Thanks, client representative from client company. And originally it was like Ben from NASA, right? and client company name is extracted, project name is extracted, overall satisfaction is somehow negative. I wasn't expecting it to be lower than 1, but anyway, we can tune that in the prompt, right? And there is the last review. I like you guys, right? So client company name is known, project name is known, overall satisfaction is 5, which is kind of cool. And the insufficient data is true. So the model understands that it has not enough data to do the job and said, that's true, right? So that's not the perfect solution. That's why I don't trust LLMs fully, but somehow like it works, I don't know, 80%, right? Or 66% in our scenario. So let's do one more trick. So let me put the breakpoint here before the print. Oh, sorry. Okay, and let me do that in debug mode. So I want to show you how it looks like in like pure Python objects. All right. So just to prove that it's not the text, we can see that we have tagged reviews. So this is the list of objects, review tagged. And if we expand the object, we see the property, client name meta, ID, insufficient data. So you see like obfuscated PAI, I will need to tune that prompt. But anyway, so it's not just a string, right? It's a list of objects. So what you can do with that, anything. You can just, I don't know, export it into the database. You can pass it to another LLM node to do something else. So you can compare them by the rating. You can sort them. You can manipulate. Like you can do whatever you want, right? So this is how you can deal with the task. So what options do we have? So how these can be improved in future? So first, what I see is that somehow, in some cases, it's not obfuscating the data. So probably I see 2 options here, right? First one, I can just enrich the prompt because maybe it's not enough for LLM to understand that you can put more instructions. Or what is very good is you can put example. I don't know. Let me try to put the example and just run it once again, right? Okay, let me just remove that. Let me just use it as is, right? Project. Okay. It should be user. Let's name it user. Thanks. If you give the model examples, it will work better. Client from, I don't know, company. Something like that. Actually, in our case, that won't be pure experiment because the example in the prompt is the same as the test data we're going to pass, right? So it's kind of like easy task for the LLM. So I think it should work, right? Here at client, we value project name, lead developer, project. Okay, that's nice. Not sure user. So that was easy for LLM. But you see, the first one is improved as well. So one option how to make it better and make it stable is to provide the examples. I don't like this concept of prompt engineering because I don't believe in that. What I really do usually, I just keep the prompt as simple as possible, just keeping only the necessary information and give some examples because examples is 10 times better than just prompting like do it correct or like do that, don't do that, right? And another thing what we can do here actually is we can try to use another model. So we still have like 5 minutes. I think we can do that fast. So what I can do here, I can eject the 5.4 and I think I can use, let's try to use the latest GPT. I don't know if it will work or not, but this model is more I don't know if it works or not. It's loading. This model is much more, it should work better because it has more reasoning, it has more parameters, it was trained later, but I don't know, will it work or not? So let's go back to the development, ensure that the server, let me disable the server and enable it again. I don't know, somehow we still have 5.4 here. Let me eject it. Okay. Let me just create a new conversation. Are you here? Yes, it's here. Okay, the server is running, so the only thing we need to do is just replace the model. So the API, the IP, and the port is the same. So what we need to change is only the model name, and the model name is here. Okay. I don't know, will it work or not? Let's see. Let me run it instead of debug. So by using the model which been released like 2 days ago, I don't know. There is, however, one thing, you can get refusals from strict structured output. So structured output doesn't guarantee you the results, but the trick is in some cases when the model, the request is violating the model, let's say, safety parameters, safety filter. If you're using public model, for example, from OpenAI, instead of this data, you can just get the refusal. But the same works with the text completions. Okay, let's check the result. I don't know. I see the result is horrible. It's not extracting the data. I don't know. So maybe several options here. So one is maybe the model itself somehow is not good with with structured output, but I don't believe that because it's like OpenAI model. It's not like some kind of startup. The second reason, maybe the LM Studio is not doing best here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe LM Studio is kind of fresh, or maybe I just doing something wrong, but the code is the same, so it should work with any model which supports the structured output. One more thing here is probably the model is not supporting that like beta chat completions. But anyway, I don't think we need to test it, so we can just get back to 5.4 and get the stable results. All right, folks, let me sum up. So let's get back to the business requirements. So what we just did, solution should parse the customer review, done. Solution should hide PII, done with second attempt with providing the examples. Extracting the company name, yes. Project name, yes. Overall satisfaction rating, yes. We just need to set that the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 5 or whatever in order not to get -1. Solution should mark not enough data so the human can pick it up. It's done. And we are not sharing any data with external LLMs, and we are doing this for free. So basically, we just met all the business requirements in 1 hour, probably. So we can treat that task is like ready for, I don't know, for testing, right? And ready for further work. All right, folks, I think that's it from my side. If you want to read more, I suggest to explore Hugging Face, to explore the OpenAI documentation on structured output, maybe read some examples with Pydantic, but they are already here in the structured output section. So thanks for joining, and let me take a look at the comments section.
Vitaly,
Yeah.
I'll take a lead of the screen for 2 minutes while you're reading the comments, because there are comments in the chat plus in Q&A section. And after I show a few slides, I'll be back to you. And guys, please stay with us, because at the end of the workshop, we'll be collecting the information about your name, last name, if you want to get the certificate of participation. So stay with us while Vitaly is reading the questions and getting ready to comment and reply to you. I'm taking the screen control. It usually takes time. Here it is. And as I've already mentioned, Vitaly is one of the professors of master's degree, which runs in online university in Tashkent, and people who choose to study with us can do it from all over the world. Vitaly is the part of master's degree in software engineering. Please have a look what other courses, subjects, and expertise is covered in the program. And when my friends or my colleagues or my business partners ask me why to study, I absolutely say that if you want to stay actual in the modern industry, if you want to refresh the skills, to have the necessary skills to know everything which you need to know about AI for your job. So that's the program to be the part of. It's a tough one because it's taught by EPAM experts for those who want to make sure they have their job secured, they know all new approaches, all new techniques, and it's not like, I don't know, an hour workshop or a week set of lessons. So that's a solid, agreed, confirmed master's program with the state diploma, with the schedule. But good news, it's the schedule for adults because we don't do any lectures or workshops during the day. We have it available in the evening time for guys to be able to combine it with work. Now, the current master students have a chance to combine it with work. We have all the people who are our students who are working in the industry, having, by the way, not only engineers but managers in this program who want to become engineering savvy, AI savvy. And we also have the students who work in IT but who have a bachelor in economics or bachelor in I don't know, administration, business administration, and they want to get the diploma in software engineering. And people who study in this program can choose between solution architecture, data engineering and AI, and system engineering, which is cloud and DevOps, in spite of the fact that the key subjects are the same for everyone. And again, while doing the interviews, because people who apply for masters get their personal consultant and they talk to the professors of the faculty to deal with understanding what can I do after this program. So that's applicable for the specialties you can see on the right, and you can see the program objectives on the left. So if you are considering knowing more about the program, please leave your contact details and we'll get back to you. And if you would like to receive the certificate about participation in this workshop, again, please be leaving your details. Make sure it's your name and your last name, and everything is spelled correctly, because you'll get the certificate from us and you'll be able to post it on LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, whenever you are public. And Vitaly, I'm returning you the word because you have a lot of questions and comments in the chat. Feel free to manage that.
Okay, thanks, Natalia. How much time do you have for that? Just rough estimate.
Okay, give me a sec. I'm checking. You do have time because we're finishing in 46 minutes. Like, oh, no. I'm sorry. No. We're finishing in, let me see, because we have different time zones. 31 minutes. We're finishing, like the hard stop is 31 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So let me do that, not in a rush. So yeah, thanks, folks. I really appreciate you enjoyed that based on the comment section. I see there's some kind of like a separate discussion here is going on, right? So one of the first questions was like, what if I just have ordinary laptop? So this, like inference process, like generating the tokens, can be done not only in GPU VRAM, but it can be done in ordinary random access memory. So it means, for example, this 5.4, if you have 16 gigs of RAM, just normal RAM, you can run it on the CPU. It will be really slow. So you may receive not 46 tokens per second, but probably something like 4 tokens per second, or even 1 token per second, but it will work, right? So as someone mentioned in the chat, actually, so what you can do is you can use distilled and quantized models. So what does it mean? Models come with different sizes, and a part of the sizes, they have some kind of like different versions. Like in iPhones, they have like Max, Pro Max. I don't know like all the names, but like I use Android, but something like mini or regular, right? The same with the AI models. So it goes to the maths, it goes to the numbers precision. When you store the numbers, for example, 16-bit precision will occupy 16 bits, but 8-bit precision will be pretty the same in quality, not so good, but okay, and it will occupy half of the space. And you can quantize to 4-bit of precision. There are models with 2 bits of precision, actually, or like 1.5 bits. Actually, so you can do that. So you can find very small models, and small models right now, they really do great job if you ask them to do simple tasks, right? So that's the answer for if you don't have the ordinary laptop. So, or you can just pay some money for the public cloud, right? Like $1 or $2. It may be cheaper than just to upgrade the hardware. So I think I already answered the question regarding the best open source LLMs. Yeah, so just search for Apache 2.0 or MIT licenses. The question is like, is it realistic for Uzbekistan to build a GPT Llama scale LLM from scratch rather than from just fine-tuning existing models? Yeah, you can do that. So there is a guy on YouTube, actually, no, not on YouTube, is one of the co-founders of OpenAI, Andrei Karpathy. So he did training of GPT-2 using Runpod probably and spent $700. GPT-2 was trained, I don't know, 9 years ago or like 7 years ago, and it cost $10 million. So it means right now the hardware is cheaper, so you can do that. The question is like, you need the data and you need professionals, you need smart guys to do that job for you, right? But eventually, like my rough prediction is probably every country and including Uzbekistan is gonna have their own I can say like government created, but someone created model because uh, in OpenAI, no one cares about Uzbek language, right? The same in Alibaba, so they don't care. So that's why if you want, for example, to create the model to understand, to be useful for most of the people in the country, you need to train it on the special data sets, like include Uzbek language, include Russian language, include local data, local books and stuff like that. So they did the same in Poland, like 4 months ago. They created like Poland model. So if you ask who is the prime minister or like who is in charge, it will give you the answer and you can ask in Polish. The same, I think, will be done for every country. Right now it's kind of expensive, but in future that would be not so expensive. All right. Yeah, thanks guys for suggesting me to using the cursor. I will do. I just need to find some time to practice. Is there any projects that is working on LLM in EPAM? If yes, how can I be intern there? I think regarding the internship, I think my colleagues will answer that question more precise. But yes, we have a lot of projects with AI. Some of them are just kind of R&D, so we do really fancy stuff. We like train the models, like not like GPT, but like LoRa's or some kind of adapters. In some cases, we just use existing LLMs like GPT Cloud to update the existing product or existing process in the company. It's actually what I'm doing the last year or two. I'm just coming to the project, to the existing business, and try to augment this with AI, train the people how to use the agents. So we build the agents, the pipelines, and all the fancy stuff. So yes, we have a lot of projects working with AI right now. It's kind of like a training thing. All right, and I see three questions in Q&A section. So the one is like whether we have a special course for automation process using AI tools in workplaces. So if you're asking about EPAM internal, we have some in-house applications. So we have internal accelerators, like it's called AI Round program. Yes, it's not product, it's program. And inside we have several applications we usually enable to our clients. We have internal expertise, but you cannot use this software outside the EPAM, right? Because it's some kind of like internal IP. So if you are a client, we would be happy to serve it. But if you are employee, you can play with it, but it's not available in public. It's something like a lookalike like NA10 or Microsoft Copilot, but better, because I've been working with Microsoft Copilot and you just can do some things we was able to do like 2 years ago. So we are really focused and we invest a lot of resources in January in creating that platforms and enabling our people to use that. If you're interested in outside world, so first you need to understand which instrument is going to use. If you go to with pure Python, that's one story. You can go with LangChain, you can go with semantic kernel, you can go with Anthropic, you can go with OpenAI, you can go with MS Copilot or N8N. So first, try to like pick up the product, the platform you're gonna use, right? Because right now we have tons of like AI startups and all that software. So yeah, there's plenty of information on the internet. I even just can't catch up with the news really, because every week we have a new model and another platform arrives like every month. One more question is, suppose we need to design an AI agent system, maintain and reason over a massive prompt structure, 2050K tokens without external chaining and bringing big context, execute complex tools in multi-stage pipeline, too late will be tool C, robust interruptions. How do you design such architecture? Well, I think I will need several hours of like communicating with you, understanding the system, understanding the business, right? Because it's not easy to answer that question. So what we usually do is before doing some AI stuff, we try to understand the business case, right? So how it's done right now, what we would like to achieve, what systems we do have. Because from technical perspective, so usually it's like 10%, or I don't know, 20%, you write the code, you create the agent. 80%, you need to understand the business and try to select the right tools, the right approach and stuff like that. So I think if you're doing something in the chain, sorry, I don't know, like LangChain, LangGraph may be a good starting point. Maybe take a look at the semantic kernel, but right now, this looks like a complex system, kind of like autonomous agent or semi-autonomous. So I will just start building it one by one, but think from the business perspective, right? So not from the technical one. Maybe you can do that even simpler, or just pick up existing tool. I don't know, some kind of like existing MCP server connected with LLM, and that's it. Other reviews, in which cases we can use LLMs. Sorry, I don't understand the question. Does the project need a QA tester? Well, maybe if it's going long, but for MVP and POC, no. We don't even have time to test the agents fully. So in some cases, the users are testing that. So we just ship it to the users and say, guys, this is MVP, like, or POC, just don't treat it like seriously 100%. So they test it. You know, in AI, we usually don't have time to build the whole SDLC structure like business. We don't even use issue tracking. So we just, like try to make it fast. I know some some projects being done in one day. Like the client came, asked for the solution, and we just reuse something. Next day we ship the software, so it's no time to test it. But for the big projects, yes, we can definitely do some kind of testing, but not any tester is fine. So we need the person to understand AI. If the person is not understanding how it works, and by how it works, I don't mean prompting. I mean, what is max tokens? What is the context window? What to do if you're not fitting the context window? What is the chain? What are the parameters? What is structured output? If the person is not aware of that, it will be useless on that project. So one should gain some AI skills and understand how to work with LLMs using APIs. Without that, so that would be impossible. Okay, and the last one in Q&A. I was a kind of pet example that's okay for the sake of webinar. I build in production agentic workflow AI. What options do you see as optimal? How do you facilitate distributed processing and enable usage of different models with different requirements and runtimes? Depending on the project, so we don't have like cookie cutter, right, for which we apply to every customer. So in some cases, we build the pipelines. In some cases, we ship some kind of like pre-created software and create the agents inside that software just for the sake of, speeding the time. We can reuse some templates. Usually, we have people who develop AI platforms and people who use them and integrate the projects. In some rare cases where it's not possible to do the stuff with agentic solutions we have inside the company, we can do some Python stuff, right? But it's, I don't know, like 5% probably, or like 10%, because it takes much more time. And every time you will need developers to support that software. So the answer is it depends, right? So every project is different. We have different budget, we have different timeline, different people, and with different skill sets. So we just try to make it as much as effective as we can. All right, I think I'm done with the questions. And yeah, the final one is in chat. Do I need to learn machine learning? It depends. So if you would like to use machine learning or you would like to train the models, yes. If you want to work closer with the business, for example, as I'm working mostly with the business on existing software, I don't use machine learning. So I have a plan to learn it somewhere, but I'm not using that for work. So in order to work with AI, I don't need to know machine learning. But in some positions, like if you search for the LinkedIn, so it's oftenly required to at least basic understanding of PyTorch and similar stuff. Okay, I think that's it.
And there is one more question from Anvar.
Oh yeah, about prompt engine. Okay, so
maybe that was just a comment. Okay.
Yeah, let me just make it serious. So it was never a thing, actually. So if you take a look at the architecture of the model and how it works, you may see that there are some things which so let's say the less instructions you provide, the better output you have. You may put more data, but if you put a lot of rules, like this should be done in this way and this and that, it's like in the programming, right? So if you create the class which does 5 different things, it would be called like a God's class, like a magic hammer. This is the anti-pattern, right? Because you're overloading the system with some not necessary context. The same as the prompt engineering. So if the simple instruction with example doesn't work, you're doing something wrong. You can create like additional prompts, you can create prompts with GPT, but it doesn't make the model better. And usually in our scenarios, like from our several years experience, like working on thousands of projects, if it doesn't work with simple prompt from first or second attempt, changing the prompt and putting more instructions and rules inside will not change the behavior. So we need to decompose from one agent, you need to split it to 2 agents or 3 agents. The same with the software, right? If the task is super is complex or big, you just decompose it. So the same with the prompting. And from my perspective, prompt engineering just doesn't make sense. It's like Google search. So when you search the Google, you just type what you need. If you type something, I don't know, too much, you will receive some not really good data. If you type something very generic, I don't know, like shoes, you will receive a lot of data. But there is no such job like a Google searcher or I don't know, like Google search query composer. The same with the prompt engineering. It may be a thing like several months once the GPT 3.5 Turbo arrived. And in order to get the JSONs or structured output, you need to do some tricks. But right now, modern model, if it doesn't answer that to you, it just either the answer is not in the context or you're just asking the wrong question, actually. So that's why I don't really believe into the prompt engineering. So I recommend everyone to do the practice, like work with the AI, decompose the task. It's the same as development, but instead of receiving every time the same result, like in if else or switch case, you just receive random results and you just shrink that randomness to make it more control. So that's how AI engineering works right now.
Okay, I believe we're done with the questions. That's been a while. Thank you so much for investing your time into it. And I'm inviting all of you guys who are on the call and still you haven't submitted the contact details for the certificate of participation, or maybe you'd like to talk to our personal consultants about being the part of master's program. Now the questionnaire will appear on your screen at your convenience because I know many chats, many forms, but that's how you will get the certificate, or you'll be in touch with people who can get back to you and answer your questions about being the part of EPAM and ITPU learning community. Well, and while you're submitting your contact details for the certificate to be achieved, I am wrapping up this webinar, this workshop with myself, Natalia Stashko, being the host of it and the head of master's program, with Rinat, who is the head of EPAM Uzbekistan, and Vitaly Shulga, one of our lead AI engineers, who has shared with you how to work with this magic. And this is not magic, this is something you can study, you can argue, you can develop and keep going in IT sphere. I'm really grateful you've been with us, quite a lot of people with us today, 52 participants at its maximum. And I'm really grateful for those who started with us till the end and will be having a chance to get the certificate of participation. I'm sure it's not the final webinar when we meet, because we are doing not only paid programs, we do free of charge webinars to share the expertise and to tell you more about our programs to join to study. If you're asking about internships, if you're asking about lifelong learning courses, open, free of charge or for money, always go to campus epam.com and find your location and see what's available for your location. As well as I've shared with you the site of ITPU, IT Park University, the first online university of Uzbekistan, where you can study from anywhere you are in the world. Well, I believe that's it. Thank you so much for being with us, and I'm sure see you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Ruan. Bye.